what I've learned is that the news is like pure propaganda for whoever
Hmm.
owns it, and they're
Yep.
only putting their side out there
That's
with
it.
an added spin to make it spicier for the TV to make you want to pay attention. Um,
And for me,
but
it's just it's clickbait because I don't watch the news. Like literally, I will not watch the news. I can't say never, but maybe 5 times since 2008, I've watched the news. I mean, that's it.
And I don't go with never, but the one thing that, what would you say changed immediately in your life by not watching the news?
I wasn't depressed before.
That's the point I was just going to make. If you're one of those people that watches that shit every day, for Christ's sake, shut it off for a week,
right?
And see how much your life changes. How many positive stories do you hear on the news in a half-hour news cycle? Maybe one.
Maybe, yeah. And see, that's the whole reason too why I started Good News Arizona in 2 weeks into COVID, because everything was just so negative. So I called a buddy up, like, hey, let's go do this, and it that took on its own life because people were tuning in for the sheer fact it was just Arizona based and everything was good news. It was stuff I would just pull off social media and things. It was nothing but a positive, and it wasn't even a spin. It was just like if I had ran into you back then, Josh, we would have talked on Good News Arizona about Sandbox. Like, this is a great outlet. It's a great resource for veterans and first responders to come with like-minded people. But that's what it was about, because the news is so bad. And coming from somebody who went to school to be a journalist, one of the things I had to do in college was time a newscast from start to finish with a stopwatch. And every time they had a news story, you press start. And when they're done with that news story, you press stop. In a 30-minute news show, which now is like 32 minutes, there was 4 minutes or so of actual concrete news. Everything else was fluff and what the hell is the word? I don't know. My brain lost it. But the fake shit, the
filler,
the fillers and the smoke and mirrors, and
kind of like there's 2 good songs on an album and the other 8 suck.
Yeah. And so it was commercials and rhetoric and conversations between the anchors. Weather you don't count as news because you're just reporting, on the weather. So it's just, you take the weather out, everything else. 4 minutes of actual hardcore news.
And here's the other thing real quick. Can you ever get a point across in a 3-minute soundbite with 4 people talking over each other? Right? We're limited on time today a little bit, but we still blew up your story to the point where you could tell it in a way you wanted to. You couldn't do that in 3 minutes on CNN if Chris and I were talking in addition to you. You would have never got your point across. That's the other thing that people don't realize is, Josh just said it a second ago, you're hearing what they want you to hear from their angle to sell their advertising. The one thing I can't impress upon people enough about television is you are literally watching what they want you to watch to sell the advertisement they want to sell. That's what television is.
Yep.
It's not about the program. It's about the advertising for them. You're looking at it from one direction. They're looking at it from another.
Prime example. I just finished watching the Charlie Sheen thing on Netflix. Okay.
Was it good?
The final unbelievable.
Okay.
The final 2 years, he was so down the dark path of his addictions, smoking 7 grams of crack at a time. Like, it was crazy. They made him the highest paid TV star at $2 million an episode for 2.5 Men for the last 2 years, because they were making $155 million a year in revenue from ads. And they kept offering him money. He kept saying no. Him and his attorney just kept saying, no, I'm done. And then they threw $2 million at him. And he's like, what do you do with that?
Can't say no.
But they could care less about his struggles and his addictions, and it was out there. They were talking to Chuck Lorre on the documentary, and he's like, you knew something was going on. John Cryer, you knew something was going on, but how do you stop it? Because he's the meal ticket. He's the reason that I'm getting paid. He's the reason for my livelihood.
You just made my point.
Right. So all these people around Charlie Sheen see the train wreck, and John Cryer even said it. He's like, the world wanted the train wreck. It was the first real explosion of social media. And Charlie could do nothing wrong that would deter the world from watching him. They liked watching the train wreck.